Namaskar. Friends, we are today with a very important topic. I won't say that it is interesting, but it is important topic related to poetry and our society, which is called Free from Chains. The poetry is for removing our chains, inner chain. But sometimes the people who are already in chain physically, they need poetry to remove properly, to remove their inner change so they can become the part of society. I'm lucky that today with Zingonia Zingone, a poet, novelist, translator who writes in Spanish, Italian, French, and English. She knows 4 languages, and her poetry books are published in Spain, Mexico, Colombia, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Italy, France, and India. She's working for 5 years with this subject. So let us welcome to Zingonia Zingone. Welcome to you, Zingonia Zingone. You are welcome to Kritya. And I remember you, first you came in 2009 in Kritya when you were quite young, and you were introduced to me by my friend Roberto Piperano. And from 2009 to 2011, 12 years, you have grown double speed or triple speed, I must say. You were a beautiful poet at that time, but now you are a mentor, you are a teacher, you are doing social work, you are actually activist and poet, and you are always a good poet, but now your poetry is expanding and your movement is expanding. So Zingone is very important. She's doing very important work, which we need it as for the society. In Kritya also we have worked for it from 2015, and we thought about it for a long time, but we never got permission from the jail. Because according to jail norms, they did not allowed, because otherwise we wanted to go to jail with the prison with the poets. But 2017 in February, we could get permission to enter in the jail. And my experience in the jail, not only my experience, all the poets who have gone with me was terribly emotional when they reach there. And that's what actually, if you know that Doris Kareva, who is one of the most important poet in Costa Rica, no, not Estonia, she said that she was working in her jail also, but she says that when I enter with other poets in this Indian jail, I feel that we are here with the people for whom we are writing. Otherwise, most of the time we are sitting on the stage, or we are singing or writing or reading for the uh, middle class people who can afford anything. So Zingonia, very welcome to you. And I just want to know first. First you give a small introduction about your work in a very small, and then I will show the picture which you have sent me about your work. So welcome to Zingone.
Well, first of all, thank you, Dr. Rati Saxena, my dear poet and friend, and I always say my Indian mother. Thank you for bringing me back to India through Kritya, which for me is home. So I'm happy to be here to share this experience, that this wonderful adventure, I would define it, that began for me 5 years ago. Like most important things in life, it happened by chance. I did not look for this opportunity. It just happened that I met a friend who was working as a volunteer teaching law in one of the prisons in Rome. And when he saw me, when he heard me speaking about poetry, about how poets seek truth and how poets go all the way deep down inside the human being, he decided to call me into this prison for a reading. And then from the reading, we began a workshop, which has been going on once a week for the past 5 years. Not always in the same section, but it's in the I'm in the section of male convicts, and I must say that it's a wonderful experience because we tend to think about people who are imprisoned as if they belong to another world. You know, they're locked up behind a wall and they're there and we're here. No, they are part of society. It's only that society mm, solves a problem by putting them all in a different place. But the problem is actually not solved, because if you do not help a person heal from their wounds, when they come back, when you let them out from behind the wall, they are most likely going to continue, or even worse, they might even be angrier than before. So it is very important to help people, like we should always help also others that are not imprisoned, because each one of us carries a whole set of chains inside, things that we are born with and that we are told that we should do things a certain way, and things that build up anger inside us, and a way of seeing the world and other people which is not necessarily the correct and loving way. So poetry has turned out to be a very powerful instrument, because it is an instrument that helps people that are in a restricted condition to travel out of the place where they are, travel with their imagination, travel with their vision, you know, broaden their horizons and realize that the world is not that tiny space in which they were brought up and they lived in, as a first thing. Then, when they are challenged to writing poetry, they discover that from their wounds, they can actually transform those wounds into beauty. And that beauty inevitably touches other people. So when you touch other people through your wounds turned into beauty, you transform also the other people. So basically, this magical process that we poets know very well, it is available to people that would normally not have the opportunity to have books and to be guided into finding their own poetic voice. The well, I don't know, Rati, if you want to say something else. Otherwise, I continue. You know, I have a lot to say. So
I understand. I understand. That is why I did not stop you when you were talking. I didn't stop you because I understand when we work like this, we have so much to talk. And yes, I understand. I understand that how you are working, because and it is not easy to work with those people, because there are many other problems. You are not permitted to enter inside. You are not permitted to work with them. If a single person is okay, because I tried for 3 years to have a one Kritya reading with the in the prison. And in Kerala, prisons are one of the best prison in India, and these people have they were cooking so many things, and they were selling their thing. They have a lot of money also by selling. They had a cow milk, vegetables, chapati, chicken curry, and all. It was very popular to buy jail prison food because it was very good, very nicely cooked, and all. So the director told me that what you people do there, you simply go and speak some few lines and come back. We are teaching them so many things, as if he feels that only the foolish people who do not have any money at their home, or who do not know anything except cooking and all, are coming to prison. But there are many people come there. Sometimes, and they can do many other things for livelihood. Is good. They will do something after going back. But these people never think about the emotional development, their mental development, what you're doing. Because here I am connecting you, I have a connection with you because what you are doing is most important and most, not only important, necessary, very necessary. Because if we show the prison of the, I just wanted to show the prison of the word to audience, if you like to see that this is the situation they have to live. And this is not Indian prisons are worse than these prison. I Let me show these prisons once, Zingonia.
Okay.
To audience I will show the prisons. These are the situation where the people live. See, these prisons are worse than concentration camp.
Yeah.
They don't have suffocate, they don't have place to move their hand even. And if they are sitting for in a one place for a long time, they are becoming more cruel in their heart. And in that place, we really need something to do. And what you're doing very important. I will show a film which you have sent me about your work afterward, or after you talk little more, and then we will show you the film you have done. Send me.
Yes, Rati, what you say is very important. You have many different types of people that end up in jail for many different reasons, right? So not everybody necessarily comes from a background of illiteracy. Here in Italy, we have school that takes place in jail, so they can attend school if they want to. But school is not enough because the arts, as we artists know, are usually considered something useless or something to fill in time, time that is not occupied by important issues, important matters that make money. But arts are the only way for a person to express their soul and to move out of a situation that encloses the person. And so I think that all the work that volunteers do in the prisons in Rome, which include theater, include music, well, I do poetry, but there's painting. All that helps convicts express themselves. For me, the most important thing is not my approach, is not what I think, is what they think. So this video that Rati will show later is a video that was shot by Italian television with two of my students who are fortunately not in jail any longer. And for them, poetry has changed their way of seeing life. They say this in the video. Of course, they say it in Italian, but they're very happy and proud, and they really say that poetry helped them transform themselves. We have many initiatives that were born from this workshop. So maybe after the video, I can explain a little bit more of what these initiatives are.
Yeah, I'm showing this video. Thank you.
La poesia non è tanto dire quanto togliere, quindi togliere per arrivare all'essenza. Quello che io ho scoperto anche in carcere è che quando tu riesci a entrare fino in fondo alle tue ferite, la trasformi magicamente in bellezza.
Zingonia da anni insegna a scrivere poesia in carcere, a Rebibbia, e nelle crepe è entrata la luce.
Il brutto Tevere. Com'è triste stare seduto su una delle tue sponde e guardarti. Verde, sporco, privo di dignità. Il percorso che fa il Tevere è il percorso che ho fatto io fino a che ho scritto quella poesia. E quindi piano piano uno cammina e inizia poi io ho iniziato a fare delle scelte negative, no? Insomma, è il Tevere che inizia a essere inquinato. Oggi Alessio sa dire di no, ha capito? Perché appunto cerca di fare scelte positive, cerca di essere un altro tipo di uomo, cerca di annaffiare la parte sua positiva, perché se annaffio quella parte mia positiva si restringe quella mia negativa.
La fortuna è stata incontrare Zingonia col laboratorio di FreeFromChains. E lì ho cominciato a scrivere poesie, mi sono messo a nudo, ho condiviso tutte le mie ansie, paure, forze, è stata una liberazione.
Abbiamo chiamato questo movimento, questo laboratorio di movimento FreeFromChains, liberi dalle catene che sono le catene che portiamo dentro. Uomini grandi e forti pensavano che fosse una cosa per donnette e poi però hanno preso coraggio, perché poi ci vuole coraggio a mettersi a nudo. L'amore ha aperto il rubinetto della poesia in ciascuno di loro.
Un anziano siede vicino a un ruscello, mi invita a sedermi, mi offre da bere la sua acqua, da mangiare il suo pane. Inaspettatamente la sua voce mi trasmette calma. Io ho scoperto grazie alla poesia di avere una forza e di andare oltre e non fermarmi a un muro, delle inferriate. Non le vedevo, andavo oltre. Mi guarda negli occhi e dice: non sentirti straniero nella tua terra, scava e metti ordine nelle tue profondità. Lì troverai qualcuno chiamato serenità.
Anche in un posto brutto si può concepire bellezza. Là dentro uno cerca sempre di essere forte, da essere il più grosso, il più forte. E invece poi mi sono accorto che questa sensibilità è una parte bella mia, capito? Perché mi permette di scrivere determinate cose, mi permette di toccare, di andare in profondità, mi permette di stare più attento a me stesso, capito come? E questo un po'.
Quando sono entrata in carcere non sapevo di trovarmi di fronte a un gruppo di uomini che in un certo senso io avrei visto crescere interiormente come dei figli. E ci sono tante cose che loro hanno detto nel tempo, hanno scritto, che mi hanno fatto vedere una parte della mia vita, perché tutti commettiamo degli errori, tutti abbiamo la possibilità di rialzarci o anche di rimanere nell'errore e perseverare.
Se una persona riesce a perdonarsi, automaticamente avrà anche il perdono da Dio. Io penso che Dio l'ho avuto sempre, c'è stato sempre dentro di me, solo che io non lo volevo vedere, vedevo lo sguardo lo posizionavo da altre parti.
In quei momenti senti che c'è qualcosa di più grande che ti dà una forza che tu non immaginavi nemmeno di averla.
Io consiglio a tutti di provare a scrivere quello che viviamo, poi al di là se possono nascere poesie o no, però fa bene. Ma oggi, che bellezza e purezza sono salpate e restano solo correnti di solitudine, io riesco, seduto al tuo fianco, a specchiarmi in te.
Now you can at least explain to our audience what was there.
Yes, but basically they were sharing the experience that they had and what poetry meant to them, their transformation. And so they both talked about their own personal experience with poetry, how it was a turning point in their life. So it's, you know, it's beautiful to hear it from them and not from me. And they were reading out of this book, which is a book that was published thanks to the help of one of the churches, one of the parishes in Rome, the St. Philip Neri parish. And it has the poetry of, let's say, the first two groups that I worked with. Now we have many more, but these are the first two. I know there are some that are watching us right now, because I saw that they're posting comments, and that thanks to time and the situation, well, they're no longer in jail. But here inside this book also, these are poems, and I will read some of them later. But this in here, they also state why they believe that poetry made them see life a different way. You know, discover. I think the most important thing is when they discover that you make a mistake, but you are not the mistake. If society tells you, okay, you are the mistake, then you continue being the mistake. If you say, okay, what I did was wrong, but I am not that, I am something else, then you move on. So poetry has helped them understand that. And that's basically what they say in the interview.
No, actually, we all make mistake. We all make mistake, but unfortunately, the bigger mistake, which can be called by society or our political things, these mistakes can be caught. Otherwise, daily we are doing many mistakes, and and we when we can give a life with dignity, why not people who make mistake by chance? By chance, there are, see, they in prison, in Indian prison. I know that there are many people. They are uneducated and unfortunate who are there without any mistake. Some got released from the jail after 10 years, 12 years, and they didn't have any mistake. They were just put there, and because their this judiciary is very slow and bad, and that is why they have to remain. There are many who made first time mistake or second time mistake, and that is also with the anger or with the another thing. They are also there. Third thing, they are a third time they are the habitual mistakers or habitual people who who are every time they go and do same culprit. The thing is that if they are habitual, why don't they need psychiatric? Why don't they need psychological treatment? So these things we are living in a very modern time, and the kind of jail we are providing, the kind of place we are providing to the society, to the part of society, is terrible. So this work which you have done is important for two reasons. Mostly, I find that poets are very happy to write about the prison. When they go, their experience, they write. No, we don't want your experience. You are making them to write.
Yes.
Your students are students are creating. Your students are coming out of their they are getting free from chain. That is the best word, free from chains. They are getting free from, their soul is getting free from chain. So that is the most important work. As a poet, if I write a poetry is one thing, but what you are doing is very important, and we need people like you, so that who make them feel, make them understand. They should understand that what is good and what is wrong. Now, can you read their poetry if you have some translation in
Yes.
English?
Of course.
Or in Spanish, you can read and can explain in English little bit.
Okay, well, I'll start with some that I have translated into English, and then others we can read in Italian. Okay. So this poem is by Aurelio. Everything is silent here, although airplanes fly nearby, breaking the limits of the night. It is silent here. All I hear is the noise of falling stars in sky's magnificence, endless, like my dark remorse. This poem is by Patrizio. The kicking and the punching, silent screams locked up in the throat of jail, my face streaked by poisonous water, violent tears, swollen eyes, my heart sunk in sadness. In this dusk I seek a creek to flow, to pull away the seeds planted by pain, by those primitive deeds, no flowers, no love, baptismal water to sprinkle me, heal my body, free my soul from sin. Then this following poem is by a Tunisian young man called Faisal, and it's called Snow in the Desert. This he actually wrote in Arabic. Night falls onto your eyes. From your gaze, the moon dives into the ocean of my thoughts. It splashes. Waves of rejection erase my dreams. Snow falls each time I hold you in my arms, freezing my desire, unsatisfied. Then the following poem is by one of the two poets that was in the video, the one with the beard, and he read this poem in Italian, so I will read it in English. It's called The Ugly Tiber. The Tiber is the river that crosses the city of Rome. He is Alessio and he's from Rome. So sad to sit on your banks. Look at you, dirty, brownish, no dignity. Does anyone respect you, O father of civilization? You were once blonde and strong, the vigor of your waters, giving joy and freedom to surrounding lands. Innocent and light-hearted, world in my hands, like you I used to run in starry nights, winds brushing my fresh mien. Now, purity and beauty have set sail, and all I have are the tides of loneliness. I sit by your side, O ugly Tiber, and see myself in you. This poem by a Sicilian poet called Tino, The Mountain. Spring is coming. The first colors appear, the first flowers. A herd follows its shepherd up the mountain. Everything comes to life. Bees carry honey, unaware of carrying new life. Nature follows its natural life cycle that man's eagerness knowingly destroys. This poem he wrote, I often bring paintings, photos of paintings, and I make them write a poem on what they see in the painting. So this came from a landscape by Max Ernst. So this is what he saw in that landscape.
I thought he has seen a natural spring. That is also.
Peace. This poem is by Davis. He's a Roman poet. Light is far, shaded by the dark moment within me. Surrounded by emptiness, I dodge the bloodthirsty monsters stalking me. I do not pretend to be a good man, neither am I immortal. I simply walk into the future, taking slow and honest steps towards that faraway light we call peace.
Beautiful.
Then this one is from Alessandro from Naples, and he has a very good sense of humor. So it says, it's called If Love. If love tastes like strawberries, I want many strawberries. If goodness feels like honey, I want lots of honey. If passion has sun's warmth, I want much sun. If affection is as soft as custard, I want loads of custard. I want to be under the sun, tasting strawberries with honey and custard,
Wow.
all bitterness vanishing, sweet tempered life sprouting.
This is a very, very fine poem. Actually, we can't say that it means the poetry was there with them. And their expressions are very subtle, very, very nicely presented. And of course, you were there with them. That might have helped them. But they are not, we say that just for namesake poets. They know how to use their, they say if love is like a strawberry, and so I will eat a strawberry. What a beautiful image is this! Fantastic, fantastic. So,
Well, you know,
what?
Swati,
Okay.
Swati, about this that you're saying, I actually discovered that everybody has the essence of poetry within, and everybody has a poetic voice, regardless of the fact that you know grammar or you don't know grammar, because each one of them has a different way of saying things. And that's why I also say where they are from, because there's a very big difference on, you know, people from Naples have a sense of humor. And so that comes out in poetry. So each one of them, with the knowledge that they have of the language and of grammar, which can be very basic, they still create beautiful images. And I stimulate them a lot to creating images in poetry and to looking for essence and to not use too many words. So you are a poet, so you know that poetry in a way is like an ascetic path, you know, that you walk, eliminating things. You know, poetry is not so much to say as to not say. You try to limit the amount of words. So somehow being in an unfortunate situation of not having anything because you're locked up, that makes them see the most essential things in life. So poetry works out very well because they spot what is important right away. They do not lose themselves in frivolous, useless games of words. So I find their poetry very, very powerful for that reason.
This is very important thing you said that. And mostly what happen when they don't have any problem, they are living a very good life. And if you ask them to write poetry, they mostly remember their poetry, some senior poets or older poets' poetry, and they want to copy it. They don't want to create. But here, when you are reading this poetry, they are creation. They are not copying anyone. These creations are coming from their own soul. So this is fantastic work you are doing. So do you want to do you want to read your poetry in between, because you are also a fantastic poet, wonderful poet, and who writes in many languages. That is the fantastic, because very few poets are there who can write in many languages. So and you are good
Sure,
in all languages.
I just wanted to say two things about this project. I'm very grateful to the parish of St. Philip Neri because they also sponsored the making of these t-shirts. Then one of the priests of the parish designed this heart, which is a heart that spills words, because, you know, he asked me, what is this project for you? And I told him, it's a love story. I go there with my heart and I make their hearts sing. So this is the front of the t-shirt. And then in the back, there's the poems. So we have made these t-shirts thanks to the help of the parish. And then we have made sales outside the jail. And the money has been used to help other projects outside jail. So for them, it is also important because they are happy to be able to contribute to society, even though they are in a very unfortunate situation.
This is
And sorry, and I would also like to say that the name "Free from Chains" was not my invention. It came to life with the first group of poets, because together we felt that they were transforming themselves and they wanted to have an identity. So the workshop became Free from Chains. We decided all together that what we were doing was breaking all the chains. And in the book that I was showing you before, we have some drawings that were made by children that are students in a high school in Rome, because their arts teacher asked me if I could send her some poems. She was thinking about my poems to get her students to paint, and I sent the poems of my students, and I think they did a beautiful job. So that's why they were included in the book. I just wanted to say that because it's a very precious book for me.
Thank you, Zingonia. This is fantastic work you are doing, and I know like Doris Karaiva says that in her country also some poets go to prison, but your work is very systematic, because in Kerala also this system is there. The Malayali poets go there, read their poetry and come back, because in Kerala poetry was once very popular thing in Malayalam only. That is so that was there. But what you are doing is that not going and reading, you are going and make them write. So that is very systematic. Then you are going there and tell them that how to collect their thoughts, their emotions, and present it. This is second good thing. Third thing is that these people can not only cry, they can smile also. Like one of your students said that if love is like a strawberry, I will eat a lot of strawberry. And this is fantastic. No line for love can compete with this line. If love is like a strawberry, I will eat strawberry, plenty of strawberry. So these are the things. What you are doing is very different, because this is a continuous process. So how many days you are going there?
It's once a week, and what I normally do is I choose a topic. So then I take poems on that topic written by poets from all over the world. I took your poems also.
Which one?
Couple of years ago, yes. And so that's another thing that they have. They have the advantage that they read a lot of contemporary poets that I meet at festivals, or that I bring there. But of course, we also do poets from the past. So then we do exercises. Then they write a poem on that topic. Then I take all the papers home, and then I put them on the computer, and I put my corrections, and then I go back the following week with the corrected texts. We discuss what my suggestions, then and then we start with the new topics. So I bring all these photocopies, so they have a file full of the photocopies of each topic with their poems and the official poems.
I'm honored that if my poem is used there. That Atul's daughter was telling once that she used my one or two poem for teaching the student poetry translation. So I was very much honored that if my poetry is used for such things, that is the use of poetry. If it is used for the children, or if we use for the thing. So you are doing great work. Now, what I want you to write your experience, because you are also a poet. This is the activist, because for me also, I am as an activist, I am one person, because we have many souls in one body. Actually, the problem is this. So when I do work as an activist, I have one person, but another, when I am a poet, I am a poet only. So you are a very fantastic poet, and I will like to read. My audience to listen your poetry also. So can you read your poetry?
Yes. Okay. So I will read some poems that come from my latest book, that I wrote in Spanish, but it was published first in Italian. So there's a section in this book. The book is actually about my son, or about motherhood. Okay, so there's a section in the book that talks about my experience in jail, because in a way, these men become my children. And the funny thing is that my son feels brotherhood towards them, because when I come home, I start talking about what they say, what they think, what they write. And so for him, it's natural. He calls them by name. He knows their names. He knows their poems. So the book is called Blood Voyage, and there's this section that is called Threshing Time. Starts like this. I spend my Roman days going over footprints from one side of the room to the other, conceiving horizons. The ground ignores the path. Wind is the flight of caged eagles. Sin is the one and only true jail. Someone takes me behind bars. Abyss pecking grains under that little tent of blue which prisoners call the sky. I shake inmates with words, pliers breaking chains that lock minds and hearts. Poetry pulverizes hardened layers of guilt, armor covering shimmering grains. In prison, poems fall into slime, where wolves stalk puppies, sink their slanderous fangs into the tender flesh of redemption. Who will rescue truth, nailed to bleeding torsos, lost in forests of tattoos?
Beautiful.
Little Red Riding Hood crosses the dark forest carrying sweets for wolves, in remission of her mischiefs. Gloom envelops her lineage, and she plays hide and seek with shadows between the stems. 1, 2, 3, for me and for my family. She plays a solitary game to divert the course of her blood, entangled in the brambles of an ancient riverbed. The hunter sleeps. The wolf sharpens its smile. You listen to the fable and shake your head. Your version when I was little was way better. A fierce robber shivers in a corner of his cell. Who are you? No stars answer. No sea cradles his watery eyes that drown in rugged hands. Look inward, where the sky speaks to you. A speck held together in a corner of the universe I am, strong as a beacon and fragile like gunpowder. The tall walls of the womb transform the stray embryos. Loaded with emotion and promises, I bring their words home. You listen to every beat, to their sighs of release. Accompany them like you do with me each time I change schools. You recognize your siblings in my renewed motherhood. So those are some of the poems. I don't want to bore you with too much.
No, it is not boring. It is beautiful and beautifully written. How old your son is? Because when you first meet, he was very small. Now, how old he is?
Oh, he's almost 18 now. So
wow,
he's a big
that's
man.
great. My grandson is also now 19 years old. So he's also like my grandson. So
now, can I read a poem in Italian? Because I know that there is one of my poets from here called Mauro Belli who is watching. And
wow.
I promised that I was going to read one of his poems.
Not only one. You can read 2-3 poems in Italian. And just you can explain in 1 or 2 lines in English that what this poem was about. What about? is this
Okay,
poem?
this poem talks about his past life with drugs, how it all began as a joke, and then it ended up becoming hell, and how this hell made him be ashamed of himself, and how it drove him into doing other bad things, and how in a way prison saved him.
So please read in Italian.
Non sono Ulisse di Mauro Belli. Era un gioco, ma anche una curiosità infantile. Poi però un giorno è stato l'inferno, penoso, amaro e dolente. Volevo abbandonarlo, scappare da tanta sofferenza, fatta di angoli di strada e di buio sotto i ponti, un girovagare pieno di vergogna, imprigionato dalla pozione di Circe, diabolico antidoto contro il dolore. Su una sponda come una bestia, in mio soccorso il canto di una sirena che mi porta verso l'isola di Sbarre. Rintanato trovo la luce e ricevo felice il premio, la vita. Questa è la libertà.
Beautiful. If you want to read one or two more poems because they will be happy that you read their poetry, it will be good.
Okay. Let's see. They're also nice. It's difficult to decide. Okay, so this poem by a wonderful man who has now become, he helps now people that have problems with drugs. He works in a community that helps these people because he wants to give back what life gave him. He says that he's alive by miracle, and so after the whole experience in jail, he wants to give it back to other people. And he wrote a very fine poem dedicated to a woman called Alba, who was actually imaginary because there was a park outside the jail, which was called Parco Aguzzano, and it had inside like a little building called Alba. And so every morning he would wake up and he would look out the bars and would see this beautiful park transformed by first by the shadows, then by the sun rising, and you know, he just saw nature. And so he wrote this beautiful and very sensual poem that you actually think he's talking about a woman, but he's talking about this park. So by O.J. Magoriabanda per Alba. Ti vedo ogni mattina, ti vedo tutto il giorno, ogni ora un vestito diverso, ogni tanto ancora più bella. Verde con voglie nere è la tua pelle del mattino. Quando esce il sole diventi trasparente. Sono innamorato della tua natura selvaggia, del tuo respiro, che sento a 1 centimetro dalla bocca. Chiudo gli occhi per godere l'odore delle tue fronde, mentre sento la voce dolce del vento che sussurra e il morso delle tue mani penetra le mie costole, si aggancia alle mie spalle. 2 colline toccano il mio petto e mi abbandono a feroci fantasie. Lo so, un giorno uscirai dalla mia vita, arriverà il giorno in cui mi sveglierò e non ti vedrò più, il tuo profilo luminoso e romantico, appoggiato all'orizzonte del mio cuscino. Mio Dio, quanto sei bella, Alba Aguzzano, oltre le sbarre mi mancherai.
Wow, nice. My suggestion is this, that if you feel that they will be happy if their poetry is translated into Hindi, I can translate into Hindi and send you if you get a poster or something get published there, printed there. Because of this no, Corona, I'm not going out for printing and anything. So that is my problem. But I can send you because I know that many people will come, many friends will come, and they will certainly come and love to translate these poetry into Hindi. But I will publish these poems in Hindi, in Kritya, and I will send to some other journals also. But if you want to give them there in Italy, you can get it published in somewhere actually. So if you would like, I can do that, and you can send me the collection of the poetry by mail, and I know that many friends will like hear, many people who are poets who came today, like Nespi Gore and all, they translate also. So we can translate into Hindi. Do you like this idea?
Wonderful. I will get a hold of each one of them to see who would like to see their poems translated. And I will do a proper translation in English the best I can, and then I will send it over. It would be wonderful. Thank you.
So now, Zingonia, we will again come to your poetry because you are fantastic. These are the new poems, I understand, and I also want to say that you are doing a wonderful mother's job. You are a single mother, I know that, and you are taking care son and making him as a human. He is growing as a humankind. That is a fantastic thing, which we are not doing in modern time. With your great background, because I know your father had a very great kingdom of business. You are also a businesswoman, and with that kind of uh, very economically sound background, when you are giving this kind of emotions to your children, and you are calling them also your students who are prisoners, and you are calling them also your children, is a fantastic job. So it is great, because what I am seeing that 2009 February is Zingonia, and 2021 Zingonia is a great progress. I congratulate you. So I want to listen your poem also. Please read your few poems,
Okay,
please.
give me 1 second. I'm going to get the book. Just a second.
Sure, no problem. तो फ्रेंड्स दिस इज ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है, मैं हिंदी में बोल रही हूँ क्योंकि यहाँ पे बहुत से हिंदी में मेरे मित्र लोग आए हुए हैं। तो हाँ, ये बोल भी रहे हैं चेतन आदित्य वगैरह कि हिंदी अनुवाद करिए। मैं नहीं अनुवाद करूंगी, आप लोग करेंगे तब तो ठीक है, मैं ही सब काम करूंगी क्या है? अनुवाद भी मैं ही करूं, और आपने फट से कह दिया हाँ दीदी अनुवाद कीजिए, आप लोग कीजिए ना अनुवाद, क्योंकि oh, she has come back now. ओके ओके। तो मैं ये चाहूंगी कि आप लोग हैं, जैसे मुझे मालूम है कि एसपी गौड़ जी बहुत अच्छा अनुवाद करते हैं, चेतन आप भी कर सकते हैं, बहुत सिंपल पोएम्स है, और जो भी लोग हैं और लोगों को भी जोड़ेंगे और उनको अनुवाद करने के बाद में हम कृतिया में डालेंगे। ये कोई इकोनॉमिक इनकम हम लोगों की नहीं होगी कि हम इससे कोई फायदा उठाएं, लेकिन इससे दो बात होगी। एक तो हम सीखेंगे और हो सकता है कि हम अपने लोगों को सिखाएं, और दूसरा ये होगा कि वहां के लोग जो होंगे, ये जो प्रिजनर्स जो अभी ग्रो कर रहे हैं, जो बाहर निकल रहे हैं, उनके लिए एक बहुत खुशी की बात होगी। तो अभी नाउ जिंगोनिया, आई एम गिविंग यू place to read your poetry. So I'm talking to them to get involved in translation. They're saying, yes, you translate. No, I'm not translating. You have to translate.
Okay. Okay, so I have 2 books published in India, in English, by Paperwall, Poetry Wala Paperwall, Hemant and Smruti Devate. So let me see if I can find some poems that are. I wasn't ready for this, so just a second. Okay, for example, okay, roots. I've never felt the urge to dig into my roots, seed in the soil earth that begat my blood. Does it matter if it was not Adam, if I am but a particle of an ocean cell? Does it matter if in another life We were brothers or lovers, strangers, people born from the same throb of time. The humid clay is a sign of belonging. The air, the silence, forever flickering, breathing life to the soul. They ask me who I am. I shrug. Tradition, a photo frame on the night table, cage confining the future, a name defining boundaries. It drains itself like a dry leaf or follows its course from the riverbed. What does man so eagerly try to grasp? When a grain of sand receives unarmed ocean's rage, its caress, its crazes, its boundless comings and goings. In India, dogs are nomads, pace the dusty, chaotic streets. They know the way to the end of all roads. A young Palestinian looking out of the bus window asks, "Where do dogs go?" Always hustling, dogs are. He takes my hand, shuts in the grip of dawn, a ruthless memory. Children, their empty glances licked by dogs of hate, and mothers of his land torn from the good, crying, discovering that all alleys are blind.
Yeah, this poem you have written after Kritya 2013.
Yeah, exactly. You recognize it.
Yeah, you told me that about this poem. It's a fantastic poem, but such a way you have brought it. Beautiful. Uh,
From dust to dust. I've emptied myself of rage, shaken off vanity. I go along the movement of the stars, avoiding not the pitfalls. From every crash, a new life. From every life, new is the way of loving. I've opened up to the sun that every night sleeps snuggled in my chest. Light that isn't mine to keep, but that shines and clears the way. I know that nothing has value, yet everything counts. I try to do away with sums and remains, tending to point zero, where every cell, hidden within verses, expands into universes, hauling the word towards silence, matter fading away, opening in time a window, eternity.
Beautiful, very beautiful poem.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Zingonia. Do you want to say something? Your last words? Do you want to say?
Well, I would like to thank you very much for once again keeping
Thank
me
you.
in your
If you,
in your thoughts and in your programs, and for including me and giving me the opportunity to talk about this project. I would like for the people that are listening to consider this not like something that, oh, Zingonia does such a wonderful work. No, Zingonia is very fortunate to have the opportunity to grow through this experience. So if you have the opportunity of going towards others in any way that you can, I really recommend that you do it, because you feel so fortunate when you see that the little that we have to share gives back, gives in return a lot. So that's what I wanted to say.
it's a very big thing. What you said is very important. And as you call me my Indian mother, so you are always welcome. You don't need any invitation to come to my program, and any time, because this also last time in Greece only I talked to you what you are doing, and then only I came to know. But I did not know that you are in this project. Otherwise, you know that my book has come about this poetry therapy from a fist which open poetry therapy from distance past to present future. In that, I have talked about these chains only, and from how the poetry work as a therapy. And there is one small chapter for the prison also, because I don't have a very vast experience with the prison, because I live in Kerala and their language is Malayalam, and I write and speak in Hindi. So that direct communication is very difficult for me. Though I always like to talk to people. That is another thing. So what I say that whenever you do something and you keep communicate with us, Kritya, because it was actually one of your favorite stage. You came many times to Kritya,
Oh, yeah.
and you worked also. So
I am part of Kritya forever.
yeah, you are in Kritya. I thank you very much. Um, uh, I'm really happy that a young girl whom we have seen, because I remember when first time when you came, the all the poets were wanted to talk to you because so beautiful poet was there. So but now your beauty is multiplied because you are a human. You are doing your heart in a very beautiful way, in a very important way. That's what I feel, that every poet should do something, every person should do something for the society. Unless we are nothing, I feel regret in this time because of my age. I am not supposed to go out, so I really feel regret, but I feel that let me do something, what I can do. But I'm handicapped. I'm doing all these things from my room only, from my laptop only. But you are doing really in a field, and young people like you should go to field and do. That is why we have organized this program. Next time I will be happy if you come with your student, prisoner student also can present their poetry one by one in this program. I will welcome, but I do not know what is your problem there, because security things are there. So if it happens, I will be happy. So thank you very much, Zingonia. I am so grateful to you that you joined me. I was asking you for many months, and then many days, and then you said that you are very busy. I know you are extremely busy, but come with us also.
I always say that I'm very busy because I try to be very careful with this free from chains, because I don't want the imprisoned men to think that I use them to make myself famous. Okay, I go to prison with my heart and I do it for them. So I try to be very, very prudent. If they tell me, yes, I want my name on the t-shirt, yes, I want my name in the book, yes, I want my, we put the poems on the street. If they say yes, if they say no, I don't want anybody to know, I try to keep a low profile. Now it's been many years, so people know about it. But I never talked to you about it before because I try to respect them. I'm doing something for them, not for people to, to talk about me.
Yeah, I understand very well. I understand very well, and I respect your feelings. I understand it that and this is actually again very important as an artist and poet. I really feel proud of you, and thank you very much. And we will keep in touch. Send me poetry. People will. I'm sure that many will translate these wonderful poets, and I will make others to translate so that they can also become a part of it, and then we will publish here, and then we will send to you in PDF form. So thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Bye, Rati.